Hello, this is Catherine Dubberly, the Answer Lady. I'm a big fan of Kiss Looms. I greatly enjoy mine, and I am cooperating with Kelly at Kiss Looms to make you a playlist of all the basic techniques that you might ever want to know on all of the looms. So welcome and enjoy. Sometimes in hand knitting you come across instructions to increase by knitting in the front and the back of the same stitch. And I haven't come up with anything exactly equivalent for loom knitting, but here's something kind of close. Let's move the outer stitch over and the next stitch over so as to create a new stitch here. I would normally slip the outer stitch, so I'm going to do that, and knit this as my first stitch of the row. Now, instead of hanging the old stitch, which I'm just knitting over, or instead of just dropping it and letting it become part of the knitting, I'm going to move it right over to the space so that I can now wrap and knit that peg. And it's going to have about the same effect as knitting in the front and the back of a stitch using knitting needles. We don't really think of the front and back of the stitch on our looms in the same manner because we're not using two needles, one in the left hand and one in the right, and turning them with reference to the stitches in the same way. But I think this basically accomplishes the function of that sort of increase. And like the lifted stitch increase, which it is very close to, it's quite discreet. It doesn't make a very noticeable hole of any kind. Here's where that whole thing took place.